Hi, I'm Sarah Jane from Silicon Molds, and today we're going to make some very quick and easy homemade fudge. It's ideal for gifts for Christmas or even just for special occasions. It's very simple to make and it's very versatile. You can do so many different things with it, and you can substitute most of the, any of the add-in type ingredients. First of all, what we need is 2 cups of white sugar. This is just a 250ml volume cup. Then you need 100 grams of marshmallows. The marshmallows, I use 12 of these are approximately 100 grams. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about half a packet. You will also need approximately 3/4 of a cup of evaporated milk. If you wanted to put some alcohol in here, just reduce the volume of the evaporated milk slightly and put the liquid volume up to meet the level with the... If you want to make an alcoholic version, you can reduce the amount of evaporated milk by maybe about 1/4 of a cup and replace that with alcohol. You can also do the same if you want to make like maple and walnut like I'm intending doing today. So we've got just over half a cup there of the evaporated milk, and I'm going to top it up to 3/4 of a cup using some maple syrup. And we're going to add that to our pan. Okay, and the last thing we're going to add to the pan is 125 grams of salted butter. Now we're going to put this on a low to medium heat until the butter is melted. And then once all the butter and the sugar is dissolved, we're going to boil it for 5 minutes exactly. You need a good heavy base pan for this. This is not my preferred pan. I usually use a much deeper one than this, but it is a bit narrower. You do need to make sure it's a big pan because this stuff does boil ferociously, and if you get it in contact with your skin, it's going to burn and it'll give you a nasty burn. Now while that's melting down, what I'm going to do is just prepare my add-ins for this. I need 100 grams of white chocolate. You can use milk or dark. I like to use dark chocolate for something that's really, really rich and you're only going to have a couple of pieces, like maybe sour cherry or something that's got some alcohol, some other alcohol in it. You also want about half a cup in volume of nuts. You could alternatively use sweets of some description like Maltesers, chocolate, M&Ms, any different nuts or dried fruit that you fancy. I'm just going to roughly chop these and add them to the chocolate. I've also kept some extra ones, so just putting on the top for finishing it off. Those are very roughly chopped. And I'm just going to add those in. Down the butter and the sugar with the marshmallows and the evaporated milk in a heavy base pan. It is important to use a heavy base pan, and do preferably use one that's non-stick. This particular pan isn't non-stick because I'm using a portable little induction hob that cooks really fast, too fast for my liking to be honest. I'm not used to it. But it's important that you just cook these over a medium heat until everything is all dissolved and it comes to a rolling boil. The marshmallows are melting down now. I don't know if you can see, but you'll see some kind of little caramely flecks coming up as the bits of marshmallow hit the bottom of the pan and caramelise. it's starting to get really quite creamy and it's going to start to get very bubbly. It's starting to bubble up now. The volume of the contents of this pan are going to almost double, so do make sure you use a large pan for making fudge. I don't want to end up with any horrible, sticky, hot messes all over you or your worktops. Okay, this is about halfway through its cooking time now. You'll see all the caramely type bits that I was telling you about coming up. Don't worry with that, it's not burning. You do need to keep stirring constantly. Don't stop stirring it. It's not long boil time anyway, it's only 5 minutes. But it will catch very, very easily if you don't stir. That's why it's always best to use a non-stick pan, and this one isn't non-stick, so it doesn't exactly help me any, but you get the idea. Okay, this has been boiling for 5 minutes now, so we're going to turn the heat off. And it's time to add our chocolate and nuts. Your chocolate should preferably be chopped, but these are rather large buttons that I've got here. I'm just going to add them in and stir thoroughly and quite quickly so the chocolate doesn't catch on the bottom. The chocolate will now melt into the fudge and it's going to start to thicken quite rapidly. You can see it changing now. You want to stir well until all that chocolate is thoroughly melted into your fudge. It only takes a minute or so. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to transfer it to another pan because this large cast iron one is too heavy for me to pour it straight into the moulds from. Okay, I've got my fudge in this non-stick pan and it's setting up fast. I'm now going to put it in my mould and put some extra walnuts on top. The mould I'm using today is our 12 sponge finger mould, which produces quite a nice bar or portion size. You don't need to grease it or oil it for fudge, simply pour it straight into the cells. Don't hang about in doing this because this stuff starts setting ever so fast. It's already setting in the pan. It doesn't help that I've transferred it from one pan to another. You can scrape any excess off the top in a minute, don't worry about that. Alternatively, you can put it into a square silicone pan and cut it into sections, but this makes quite nice small bars or chunks. Walnuts on the top and press them in. So you do need to work fast with this because it is already setting. Okay, our fudge is now set and we've got 11 nice little bars which are just ready to pop out. This is cooled and we just take them out. This mould wasn't greased or floured or anything in any way at all. And fudge is quite good that way. It just needs to sit in there, and because it's got very high fat content and there's no flour in there, it just doesn't stick, it just comes straight out. So as you'll see, that makes some pretty little bars. Just weigh them to give you an idea of how heavy they are. So each bar is approximately going to be approximately 80 grams. 78, 88, just depends how much you put in each cell, but let's say approximately 80 grams, which is quite a nice size just for slicing up now for going in your gift bags. So see, that just gives some nice sized chunks.